Oh, I've left the thing up. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very tired long run show today. This could ground to a halt very quickly. Admin, you may have to rescue me tonight. I'm just pre-warning you all. What?
Let's be honest. If all the people that are going to rescue you, it's not going to be me.
And it can't be Hayden because he was with me. So we're doomed. We are expecting Coach out, but he's having technical problems. So yeah. Anyway, this is the award-winning and hugely successful long run show. I am going to start off though. Before we get into this, I just want to do a serious thing, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
I just want to thank everybody for all the love, all the positivity, all the thank yous, all the messages, all the support, all the votes for everything we've ever been put into, for everybody who's ever shared this, everybody's ever told somebody about this, everybody's come to one of our live shows, and just generally whoever's supported this podcast, whether you bought a merch top, a hoodie, or whatever, right? I just sitting here after being last night at this awards dinner. We'll come on to it in a bit. It's quite a humbling experience, to be perfectly honest with you. So I just wanted to take 2 seconds at the front end of the show, and we're not got many people coming yet live compared to normal. They're still coming in. So if you're listening to this as a podcast, thank you, genuinely thank you, because it's nuts. We've done over 300 episodes, and I know there's about 600 million podcasts out there now, and we started this 300 episodes ago or whatever it is. And the world's changed in terms of podcasts and things like that. And you guys have all stuck with us and all that kind of stuff. So we genuinely really appreciate it. Yeah. So thanks very much. I just wanted to start off with that. Anyway, yes. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about Mental Health Awareness Week, because that's important. It's about community this week. So we're going to talk about that. We thought it was fitting because obviously the community that we've created and foster and nurture and live in. We're also going to talk about a few other bits. I want to give a shout out to anybody who's looking to buy some shoes. Head over to sportshoes.com. You get 15% off if you're a 40 Rounds at Running Club affiliated member. You're welcome. Go and spend the 20 quid and become a affiliated member, because you'll get that back as soon as you've done that. If you are if you were a club member but you haven't renewed, you need to renew. You should have done that already. And again, if you haven't got the money or you don't want to sign up and pay and all that sort of stuff, which is totally understandable, you can become a member for free and get along to one of our local satellites. Okay, right. So tonight I've got Hayden with me.
Evening.
And admin's here, and so we're expecting Coach Al. He's got a new laptop and he's broken it basically. So we don't know what's going on there. Are we all right, team?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Admin's going running at the weekend. So I'll touch on that in a second, because I do want to put at the front end of the show, if you didn't know, June the 4th is Global Running Day.
Yes.
And on Global Running Day this year, we've decided to do what we always do, and that's something totally different. If you want to go and run around London and things like that, that's pretty awesome. You can crack on. We won't be doing that. We're going to the pub. So if you'd like to come to the pub and also do a bit of running, we're going to be at the, what's it called?
The Maple?
No, you sure it's called
Hello?
that?
It's called the Grove. I was testing you.
Oh, okay. You're not going to do it. I'll tell everyone where to go. So we're at the Grove in Surbiton. We're going to go for a little jog around the lake or river or something. I don't know.
It's along the River Thames up
there
to
you go.
Kingston and back.
And then basically we're just going to go to the pub. We're going to do one of these shows from the pub. It'll be total carnage. The audio will be terrible, but we will have a great time. So come along to that. If you're in that neck of the woods, you don't have to be a club member. You don't have to shop at sportshoes.com. You don't have to think that Toby's even the greatest person on this planet like I do.
Who's that? Who are you talking about?
Speak up.
Who's that?
It's a good friend of mine.
Don't know the bloke.
But I want you to come along, okay? I want you to come along, join in the fun, join in the entertainment, and it's going to be pretty awesome, really. So I'm just mucking about with the screen.
I'm actually quite excited about that.
What about what?
Global Running Day.
Why is that?
Because I think it's going to be absolute chaos.
It's going to be carnage, admin.
And I feel like that's when we're
at our best. We are at our best. Hayden, do you reckon we should tell them about the other news that we spoke about this week?
This sounds like one. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. Which one?
Not the one that we signed, the other one where we had the call with the other people.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
You're all right about it, no? Yeah, let's go. Go in.
Right, so yeah, do you think so?
I
Yeah,
think
be all right. What's the worst that could happen? So if you've been coming to the National Running Show for the last few years, we have been there live on stage, and basically we are the main point that everyone comes to see. You can forget your what's his name running geezer. You can forget Chris Akabusi. You can forget Colin Jackson, Mo, and all these people there. You know, you can forget all that. Everybody comes to see us. We know that, and we don't let that inflate our egos at all. But we are back this year. After last year, we felt some love coming our way, and we will be back. So we are coming along back to the National Running Show. We are going to be live on stage. Tickets will go on sale at some point. We will have a code at some point, and something else will happen. I don't know really the ins and outs of it. I wasn't really listening, I'll be honest with you, when I was in the call. But all that matters is that we are going to be back. We are going to be trying to do something very awesome in the evening, but we've got to get it approved. So bear with us on that one. That'll be another reason to come along on the Saturday. So if you are, and I don't want to wish anybody's life away, but it's in May, we are going to be back on the National Running Show live stage in January. So we've got this pub thing that we're doing. We've got live show. We've got Great North Run live show. We've got Chicago live show. We may even have a Christmas live show. Bear with us, okay? That could be a real potential. And then we're back in National Running Show. So that's big news. I don't even know whether I was allowed to tell you. I hadn't even put it on my list, but I just thought about it. So there we go. So that's good. Oh, Coach Howard's here. Hang on. Let's let Coach Howard in. Here he is. He's back on his trusty iPad.
Good evening, all. Sorry about that.
There he is. That's all
Where's
right,
the IT department when you need them?
Oh, it's just unbelievable. Al, just a quick random question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's your T-shirt or not, but is it Stalk this weekend?
I've got park run on actually, but
Oh,
it's
sorry.
Stalk this weekend. Yeah, Sunday.
Oh,
Stalk
are you
5
going?
and Stalk 10. Am I going? Yeah, 5. Just for
Oh,
5.
okay. Yeah, I thought it was because that's one of your favourites, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about 20 of us from the club all registered.
Brilliant.
So, and there's always a few more that pop up that haven't registered. But yeah, should be a good laugh as long as the weather's fine, because it can
Right.
get really muddy if it's a bit
Okay.
damp.
Okay.
But we'll be fine.
So if you're going to...
the Caribbean for 2 weeks.
No,
Well,
I think it's just the lighting in my hotel room.
I don't know. Copenhagen, Caribbean. They're similar.
Him.
I'm not a million miles away.
Very similar. Very
Yeah.
similar. Right, so Al was just filling the troops in on Global Running Day. So that's that. I do want to also give a shout out at the front end before we get into the mental health stuff and the other bits. Everybody at Leeds, I don't know if anybody's here has done Leeds half marathon or full marathon. Anybody watching live, get in the comments and tell us if you was there. I'll tell you what, guys, it was bloody brilliant. I really, really can't recommend it enough. It's not easy. It's a challenge. But the people of Leeds were just on fire. Like literally the cheers. At some points, it was as loud as pits of the London Marathon. Honestly,
Wow.
it was crazy loud. And again, we was lucky because of the sun. So, like London, loads of people come out. But the people of Leeds are just so friendly, so welcoming. We was up there with the Rhinos because obviously you didn't know we're partnered with the Leeds Rhinos Foundation. We host a Wednesday run club up there. So come along. It's free. It's for all abilities. It's at the AMT Henley Stadium. But I tell you what, guys, you've got to get up there and do it. I wouldn't. The marathon looks a challenge. I'll be honest. I think that looks a tough. And I've got to give a shout out to Ian Carnegie who took a PB on that course. I don't know how he did it. It's just unbelievable because I saw Geezer running up at one point with a fridge on his back. I'm thinking it's 24 degrees and he's running up and down like a mountain. They're absolute pros.
I've
So
spent a lot of time in Leeds because I used to work up there, and it is hilly.
it's everywhere you go. It's hilly.
Yeah. I don't know anywhere flat around there other than down by the river, which I don't think they take you down there on the route, do they?
No, but it's a great route. It's a challenge. It's not. But when you get to where I was running with Sam and I was running with Lee, but she kept saying, "Now when we get to 11 miles, we can turn this up." And literally 11 miles, she just sprinted off because it just goes downhill. Everything, and you don't realize how much you've climbed up.
Yeah.
And she just went off like a scalded cat and destroyed us.
Do you think, Chris, that the you mentioned it, referred to it about it being that feel about it, that community feel about it? Do you think that's because it's been born out of the fact of an event and of something that happened rather than just saying, do you know what, people getting together in, I don't know, let me pick on a city, I'm going to get grief. Let's go Exeter. And people in
Oh.
Exeter say, let's do a marathon in Exeter, call it the Exeter Marathon. They turn up. Whereas Leeds was more about that story. It's more about Rob Burrow. It's more about.
Yeah.
You think that is why you get that feeling that I know you've been talking to me about, and that it's almost like that Great North Run feel, where it's about the community. It's more than just going and ticking off a marathon. I'm going to do a marathon. I might do Leeds. It's not about that.
Well, that's
It's about
what
a different feel.
Lee was telling me. You know, when like Bob Foundation, Kevin, I think he was telling me when they were getting together and they were playing in the room, things like they were more focused on trying to get people to run together.
Yeah.
Than actually like try. I mean, the guy who won it was like 2:26, which is still incredibly fast, right? And especially on that conditions. But you know, you think at the times that usually get run in these sort of marathons, shows you how hard it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all focused more on community. It's more focused on good causes. Obviously, the money from to the foundation to all the other M&D charities and everything that's involved. It's so again, we're talking about Mental Health Awareness Week, community, and that side of things. It's so community focused, and you can really sense that. So yeah, I would look if you don't want to, obviously not everyone wants to run a marathon. I could strongly recommend the half, and it's a good one to train for. The atmosphere, you finish in the stadium, it's brilliant. It really is. So there you go. I wanted to give them a shout. Yeah, go on.
Before you finish on that, shout out to your mum that did the mile on Saturday because
Oh yeah, she loved it.
yeah,
That was nice. They did the memory mile.
Yeah.
Really nice, you know, and that will grow. That was the first time they did it. That will grow as well. You know, that was in the Leeds University, which was a lovely campus. So yeah, there's something special going on around that area, around running, well-being, wellness, all that sort of stuff. I think it's a really positive thing. So yeah, if you get the chance, people, get up there and do that next May. I would. Al, Copenhagen.
Yes, mate.
How I know you're running, but in terms of as an event, what was it like?
I really enjoyed it. Second time I've run it, and it's clearly grown in popularity. So I've had to move the start and finish into the centre of the city. Used to start on the riverside, which is lovely because you could finish and go for a dip in the river, whatever it is. But it was very constrained, and you felt like you was kind of, you know, in a real kind of densely populated pen, and it was uncomfortable. So they moved it into one of the city parks, and I think they've grown the numbers, and that helped. Ironically, I think build the atmosphere. The course now runs in and out of the city. It doesn't. There's no out and back loops. You're constantly in amongst the people. The crowds are not huge, but they're very appreciative, and it's kind of like running through Cafe Central. So there's lots of people out, kind of in the cafes, in the bars, kind of, you know, celebrating the runners, even for those of us at the back. So it was a really good atmosphere. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And in terms of the other marathons that you've run, where would it sort of sit in your ranking system?
I think he's frozen.
He's frozen.
That's how you are.
He's back.
He's back.
I suppose it depends how you rank it. It's super flat. There is just one very small incline up over the bridge across one of the rivers. So looking for a super fast course, it definitely ticks those boxes. You don't like cobbles, a little bit of cobbles throughout the course, so not great. Crowd pretty good. Organisation was really good. You know, I was on the course for over 5 hours, and there was no issue whatsoever about water or gels. So the marshals just made sure everyone got the full marathon experience. The finish line was brilliant. The commentators were still kind of pumping up the crowd, so it's really good. And it's
Al, can I ask a question about it with regards to the super half, the Copenhagen super half? Does that encompass a lot of the course, or is it completely separate, completely different thing?
We think it will. We were trying to work that one out in terms of having a look at what they've done previously for the half and comparing it to the two marathon courses. I think it's got to be. Yeah. To what extent? We think the start and finish will be in the same park, and it looks like they just cut off the north, east, and the southwest corners of the marathon. So it'll be a lot of city centre running, which means it's a bit like landmarks, and we often criticise landmarks for, you know,
Have we lost him again?
It's not as bad as that, but the city centre. Did you get any of that?
Yeah, we got something. Don't worry. Blame the new work laptop. I do want to share because there's some people are still joining us. I do want to just say now, if you are watching live, can you let us know in the comments, because I've just read one, how sort of running has helped your mental health. Okay, if you're watching live, put it in and we'll take a look at them. All right. Right. So before we get into last night's shenanigans, admin is doing some running this weekend. So if you are at a loose end, I want you all to make a sign that says "Go admin go" and come down to Hackney at about mile 12, because I reckon she'll be absolutely hanging by then. And I want you to stand there and shout "Go admin go." Please come down and support her. She's not done any running for a long time. And no, you have been doing some training, haven't you?
I've done a bit. Well,
Yeah.
I've done a bit more than Toby did for Brighton.
Yeah, but let's be honest. He didn't do any running.
No, exactly. So I've done a bit more than that.
Yeah, but that's a very low base, admin.
Yeah, but got to start somewhere.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. But are you feeling like you're stepping back into onto the playing field?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I am petrified. So if I'm very quiet on Sunday morning,
No, you'll be with me and the team.
I'm not sure that's going to help.
I could see me getting shouted at.
But it's one of those things, actually. I was thinking about this. I was talking to somebody at work today and saying that, when I was marathon training, you're running a half marathon most weekends, if not further, right? And so it was so normal to go out and just, turn up on a race line, and no matter how, sometimes you get those nerves and stuff, you just go and get it done. There is something when you haven't done it for a long time. And I was going, that's what all these other thousands of people feel like. It's actually quite daunting, right?
It is daunting.
It's a long, long way. And, Hayden and I were just talking before we came live. Marathons are a really long way, right? These are not to be sniffed at or joked about. And half marathons are the same. It's so yes, I'm excited. I'm going to go out and run with Petra, which is always...
PB's there?
Yeah.
I didn't know PB was coming.
Yeah,
This
with
is
me.
good news.
So I'm...
Who's running with Bill?
He's not running.
Oh, my man. I have to have a chat with him.
Well, are you going to run with him?
I was going to run with him, yeah. Me and Hayden were going to run 1:39. No, 1:29. Sorry, that was what you said last night.
No,
me and Hayden were going to run 1:29 with Bill.
Well,
I don't think so. You've got no chance whatsoever.
No, I did. I said
got more chance of us winning the award last night.
I said to him last night. No, he said to me, "What are we running?" I said, "Same as what you ran in Milan." Because he messaged me around and he ran 1:31. He reckons. I said, "We're going to run that," and he looks at me like, "Anyway, sorry, I mean." And it's a serious point, right? What you're talking about, because it can be really daunting, even if you're like, let's call you an experienced runner. Don't forget, right, Amy, I know you're sitting there, but you run marathons, you've done, a lot of stuff, right? If you've been out of the game for a while and you're coming back in, it can half be intimidating, especially somewhere like Hackney, which is loud, loads of people, can be warm. Crowds are like right on top of you and everything.
Yeah,
it can be. It can have the reverse effect that you would think actually would be like, oh, actually, I'm going to get around because the crowd's going to get me. It can actually have the reverse effect. So I would say anybody who is going into that, just have a plan for how you're going to manage the way around it, and like not break it down like we always say, but just have a plan within the plan. Just so not but just the running, but like getting there, what you're going to do. And just how you're going to settle yourself down.
It's a big old event village, right?
Massive.
So it's on a massive field. Even navigating that if you haven't been there before. So I would say it's one that, from the nearest train station or car park, it's a good 20-minute walk or so.
I hate the walk. It drives me nuts. I hate it. All I do is I get out of my car and I moan.
Yeah.
And
100% he does the whole way from Stratford all the way up.
Yeah, every year.
Just moan. I know.
Every year, right? I moan. It would be easy. I would moan less if I actually got parachuted in. That would be a better way for me to become like Hayden's helicopter took him to the thing last night.
You can skydive.
I'm thinking I could skydive in like Tom Cruise would on Mission Impossible.
There is something I need to pick you up on about Hackney as well a minute ago. You just said it can be warm. Honestly, I've said it for ages. If you're ever planning a wedding, a christening, an outdoor party or anything like that, always choose Hackney half weekend. It is always one of the hot.
And I would add to that the Leeds weekend as well, because the guys up there were saying every time the Leeds Marathon's been on, it's been about 3,000 degrees.
It's not
Al,
really hot in Leeds, so
Al, are you volunteering on Sunday?
No, I'm at Stoke. Told you that.
Oh,
Start.
yeah.
You obviously wasn't listening.
Al, you have to remember, right? I'm more than tired. I'm like minus tired. I can't. You're lucky. My eyes are still open. So because I've just seen that Gemma's volunteering
Yeah.
at Hackney, and
We've got a load of volunteers. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think Gemma, Sue Flynn, just seen Miles' photographer. So yeah,
Wilco, our very own Wilco's volunteering on
Ah.
Sunday.
Aren't they at the water station or something?
Yeah, we've got a water station this time.
There we
Well,
go.
I think we've had it before at Hackney, but yeah, it's changed. It's now Motive Sports, but yeah, we're back on water.
I'm super excited. I love the Hackney. I love the different communities. I love that whole aspect of it. I like the vibe. Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, the walks is a complete joke. And I should have a fast lane. But no, really, I mean, what should happen is they should have a buggy that picks me up right from Westfield, and
no,
like a little golf buggy, and then they drive me along. We have like aircon on, and like some like country music, some chewing gum, some water, that sort of thing. And I can have my like noise cancelling headphones on. I might even wear my lanyard, and they basically take me all the way through, pull me in you go, FORDY, lovely. Here's your backdrop. That's what would be brilliant.
well, do you know what?
I'm just going to moan.
Bill's dad is at the
Yeah.
golf course tomorrow. He could
Can't
bring
even nick the buggy.
I'll ask him. And then can you come to Hackney at
Yeah,
like
and
stupid
just
o'clock
pick
on
40
Sunday
up from
morning?
Westfield.
I've just seen the comments as well. Miles is up there as the official photographer as well. So
Yeah,
always
give
takes a
him a
good
shout out.
picture and have a load of them.
Gemma, though, quickly, can
Yeah.
you just tell us? Oh, there we are. Paul
There we
Bolton
go.
said we're at A Station 4, which is my lane.
Oh, Paul Bolton's there as well. Yeah.
Right, Hayden, you're going to have to remember that because I'll forget.
Oh, well, we're running together.
He'll
Yeah, I
have
told
looked
you.
at
You told me last night, while we was looking down on all the celebs, actually hammering all of them, you said to me, we're going to run 131. That's what you said
I
to
said no such thing.
me. Bloody did.
I'll tell you
Right.
what, if you run 131,
Mm,
I'll buy you lunch
mm.
and send you another year's supply of crisps.
No, I don't want them, Abby, because I'm trying to lose weight. And the problem is I've still got one box left that's got to be eaten. I have eaten that. So I didn't know if everybody knew, but my friends sent me, and it's not a word of a lie, for my birthday, they sent me 100 packs of crisps. And I've only got one box left, that means I've eaten 80 bags of crisps.
In
Now, that is
3 weeks.
That is a pro move, okay? That's what heroes should do. But the problem is with that, I'm now trying to lose weight, which I'm doing quite well at. But the issue is that there's still a box there and it's talking to me. And I went into the garage to charge the car and it sort of looked at me and went, FORDY, come on, you've got to run a half on Sunday. You need some fuel. I was like, I've got to watch Rogue One after finishing Andor. You know what I mean? It's like tempting, isn't it? So the question is, will that box be there by next week?
I think you just answered the question I was going to ask you. I was meant to ask you last night. I forgot about why you're saving that suit. I think you're saving that suit because you know the crisp. There's going to be more crisp. You might end up fitting in it.
I know, it's so bad, the suit. So bad, that suit.
It was
right?
a bit big in that picture, I'm not going to lie.
No, I mean, right, this is the point. I didn't, it's no word of a lie, yeah? So anybody with, we'll talk about mental health in a minute, but anyone with ADHD, autism, you can all relate to this. So I write myself loads of notes, right, what I've meant to do. And I scheduled this email to send to me, check if you've got a black suit, check if you've got a shirt, check if you've got a tie. And it kept coming through. But because I was so busy doing other things, I just kept resending it to myself. And then it got to, I think it was Monday night, Tuesday night. And it came through again. I went, oh, shit, I've got the thing on Thursday. I went in the cupboard. I ain't got a suit in there. So I went up the loft and I found one up the loft. It had bird poo all over it. But it was black. And I pulled them on. And I turned them out. I thought, right, blimey, these actually something that actually fits me in this house. So I just gave it in. I said, look, here you go. Get that down there, lovely. So they sorted it all out for me. I hadn't tried it on. Right. I got a shirt from ASOS, whatever they're called. And I got that like the day that I was going in. I got that. It's the ASOS bags is here. Right. So I got that. The shoes, I got one pair of black shoes and they didn't go with the thing I was wearing. So the suit was too big. Hayden could have got in the jacket with me. The trousers, I had to do the belt up too tight, which is quite a nice feeling. But it shows you how fat I was back 2017. And the white shirt, the collar was too big, so I had to do it up so tight. So I look like a right helmet. And then there's all these other celebs in their like proper like suits and stuff. I got James Bond with me as well. Oh, it was awful. I was so uncomfortable in that suit. You wouldn't believe it. It was honestly, but how do you expect to wear a shirt? I ain't going to buy one for that. Why would I want to go out and buy one? Do you know what I mean? So it's just, anyway. Yeah, go on now.
So the question is, are you going to save the shirt for next year? Because you know the trick, isn't it? It's not to cut the label off and now send it back.
No, I cut that. I can't. I just as soon as anything comes through in this house, clothing or anything, first things I do is cut labels and cut the labels out because I don't like that.
Right.
Again, I don't like that sort of stuff. So that's even if it doesn't fit, I'm screwed because it's the first thing I do. It's like again straight out. That's coming straight out. So yeah, I took all the labels off. I threw the hangers, everything. I just chuck it all. But yeah, so now I've got this really suit that really somebody bigger than me can get into. But maybe I could go the other way. Instead of losing weight, I could put it on there so I could fit my suit. Right. So we are going to talk about mental health in just a minute. But I just want again, thanks to everybody. If you're now joining us late, I started off the episode by thanking everybody. Genuinely heartfelt thank you to put us in a position where we're now going to. So last night is basically the Oscars for the sports industry. Okay. Hayden and I had no idea whether it was like a proper thing. It was like, I'm not joking. There was police there, like security, like you've never seen. There was helicopters landing with people to come into this thing. It was a proper deal. All right. And then there was us. So we was up for this sports podcast award, which is just again amazing. And the people we're up against, like everybody watches follows football, but like the Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville, like that one, Rick Shields, who I bumped into, like he's like the biggest thing in golf. He gets paid like trillions by Live Golf, and it's all like proper corporate backed media, and they're great podcasts, all of them there. And then there was us. So she's reading it all out, and then my fat face comes up on the screen. and then, but they're like, this is how much they care about it. That they didn't even turn up, Gary Neville. Now they sent some 15-year-old production guy along to get it. He looked about 2 years old, had no clue what was going on. Bowled out there, took the old champagne and legged it. But it just experience something like that. Like you're in the room, like Frank Warren got like the Lifetime Achievement Award. Like you've got all the Team GB there, you've got the Lionesses, you've got the Chelsea women's football team were there. Like it was unbelievable. I was said to Aidan, there was this what's that swimmer? Adam Peaty. Yeah, he was there giving out. Well, I said to him, that geezer was just looking at me upstairs. I wondered who he was. like literally standing next to you. It was unbelievable. We was totally out of our depth, but at the same time, like just talking to the people on our table. So we was on a table with like journalists and stuff. So we had like a lady from the Daily Mail, lady from BBC, this nice guy from the Guardian, some oik from Sky Sports who was so rude he didn't talk to anybody. Some other, but I didn't know who he was. But we was like sitting there talking, but they were genuinely interested about running, like and the benefits of it. Some of them had come back to running or trying running. Like the guy I was sitting next to from the Guardian, he'd got back into running himself, dad, you know, and he's using that for his mental health and that kind of thing. And they were saying about that, you know, they were talking about, you know, the popularity of all the influencers and all that stuff and all that. But at the same time, they were talking about the positivity of it that it's having and how, you know, it's good to see that it's becoming more and more accessible and all that sort of stuff. So that was really positive, actually, in terms of talking just to those people. So, yeah, it was a bit nuts, wasn't it, Hayden, really?
Oh, yeah, as you said, it's completely surreal. And the fact we're actually just even there, it's quite interesting. The guy you're sitting next to from The Guardian, he actually asked a question at the start, which I thought was something I've thought about for ages. And he said, being runners, do you feel as though you are part of the sporting world still? Because very much, to be fair, a lot of it is focused on football. There was a few other sports and things
cycling there. Biking people there.
They didn't have biking. They won Team GB, wasn't it? Biking team.
Oh, I switched off. Well, as soon as it said biking, I thought, well, that's accessible, isn't it? 10 grand for a bike. Yeah, that's well accessible.
But that was where it come down to. You asked a question about, do you feel as though running is part of the whole sporting industry and stuff? Take away the elite athletics and stuff.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, obviously they had the GB team there, didn't they? The people there. Yeah. But it was a good question to ask. And I said to him at times, I do feel as though running, when it comes to, when people say, do you do a lot of sports? I suppose, yeah, you say you do running, but I do feel this country is very, very much focused on other sports. Running is right down the list. Even though the popularity is there amongst the average people. And it's a sport that's accessible to everyone, which is the most important key thing. That's what we're talking about, the conversation. You don't really wake up and think, you know what, I'm going to go and do archery tomorrow. You don't really do that, you know. Whereas you can wake up, you can wake up and you can go for a run, which for me makes a sport that we all love absolutely fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, going back to it, it was a fantastic night. Learned a lot. As you said, we're only there because of the people that listen, and also we're only there because of everyone in the team as well. I know myself and you are there, but obviously we've got the whole team
representing.
It was everyone. It was a joint effort. I say 3 years of episodes. Hey, look, Al's down there. Al's idea in the first place.
OG.
It was Al that wanted to say,
I remember the run down the River Lee.
Yeah, I honestly, Al. That's what I told the geezer. Yeah. I told the geezer about you last night from the garden.
Yeah. It was let's just put these on the podcast. These conversations, you know, there's something in it. So yeah, glad you had the idea.
But what I tell you, that one thing I just thought of while you were talking about it, I tell you what was interesting. I've just thought about it. What wasn't nominated? Parkrun.
For anything.
Really interesting. I've just thought
there wasn't even a table there, was there? Because a lot of tables had Newcastle Football Club, Liverpool Football Club. No, you're right.
London Marathon events were there, obviously, because London Marathon was nominated. But interestingly, just thinking about it now, like Parkrun wasn't there actually, which is surprising considering the participation numbers and the momentum behind. That's interesting. I'm guessing they'll be there
because of the, you know, it's a non-profit, isn't it?
No, but there was non-profits like
Long Run Show.
Yeah. Sack of old shit like the Long Run shows just sitting there going, anyone want to sponsor us? No, there was community stuff. There was like things like that. There was let's say opportunities for them to be mentioned.
Yeah. But there was a guy there, wasn't there? And he got a special award for he literally has gone. He's been doing it for years now. He's gone into the streets and literally he takes a football with him and he starts kicking it around amongst homeless people. And this is what he does in different communities. And he's created the Homeless World Cup now. And it's sort of like invigorated these people that used to be homeless on the streets, whether they're good or whether they're bad. It doesn't matter. It's about getting them out. And they're taking them to different countries to play games. And that's what it's about, the community and getting people involved. It's absolutely fantastic. And well-deserved award.
Talking about community, but absolutely. So I thought before we get into mental health that we would, based on that, we'd play a new game that I want to pilot. What do you mean, Abin? Why is everyone shaking their heads?
This has got to be better than that other one.
No, because
track record's not great, is it?
This could be good. No, this could be good. This could be almost awesome, right?
Do you think it's going to be good?
In my own mind, I thought it would be, but then I think all the games in my own mind are good. But I haven't done a jingle because I only thought about this afternoon. I was busy. So I've called it dinner table roulette. Okay. So I want you to think, right, that you've all turned up at what was it called, that thing we went to?
The Sports Podcast Awards.
No, it weren't.
What was it? It was the Vivo Sports Podcast Awards, wasn't it?
Was it a podcast award? Because we're the
No, sorry, not podcast awards. It was the Vivo.
It would be the category for the
Sports
worst
Industry
podcast.
Award. Sport Industry Awards.
Yeah. So Sports Industry Awards, right? So imagine you've all got tickets to the Sports Industry Awards. You're on Adidas's table. And you're sitting there, right? You're bowled up. You all got your fancy gear on. Suit that's too big for you, maybe. Shirt that don't necessarily fit you, right? You've got that on, okay? And you're sitting there, but you have to decide, because I had to make a decision like this last night, who you're going to sit next to. So you have to decide that person. And it's a bit like stick or twist. So play along at home. If this takes on, if anybody's been watching The Righteous Gemstones, it's a bit like baby Billy's Bible Bonkers. It's along them sort of things. So here we go. I'll write some of this down. Here we go. So you sat down at the dinner table, table 135. Okay. First thing you do, sit down and get the menu. But to your left, you could sit to the left and you could sit next to Conor McGregor, or you can move over to that side and you can sit next to Eilish McColgan. Who are you going to sit next to? Admin.
Conor McGregor.
Hayden?
Conor McGregor.
Coach Al?
I'm going McColgan.
You're going McColgan. Okay. So you're sitting next to Eilish McColgan, but Conor McGregor's got up. KSI sat down. Are you going to sack Eilish off and go and sit next to KSI for tonight? Or are you going to stay where you were? So are you going to stay with Conor, or are you going to stay with Eilish? Or your pick, or are you going to go and sit next to KSI? Admin.
KSI.
Hayden? This is meant to be sparse, by the way.
Eilish.
Coach Al?
I'm staying loyal, Eilish.
No, Hayden, you're still with Connor.
I thought you said Connor's got up
Yeah,
and
don't worry
gone.
about that. I'll get confused. Don't worry about that. You
Confusing
remember how
us.
this game is. You're still with Connor. So you're
I'm still with Connor. I'm sticking with Connor.
Admin's moved KSI. Coach R's still with. This is gonna. I wish you'd all pick the same
I see
thing.
what you mean now. So people join the table. We can
Yeah,
choose to move
so-
around.
Right. So that's person sat over the other side of the table. Right. Rory McIlroy sat down. What are you going to do? Are you going to sack off the person you're next to, Hayden's case, Connor, and go and sit next to Rory? Or are you going to stay with Connor, Hayden?
I'll stick with Connor.
Admin,
Rory.
you're going over to see Rory?
Yeah.
He's not in his green jacket, by the way. Coach Al,
Oh.
Rory.
you're going over to see Rory. Okay. So then, all of a sudden, there's a commotion. Mr. Beast comes in and sits down at our table, opens up the sparkling water that's slightly chilled. Are you then sacking off the person you're sitting next to and going to sit next to Mr. Beast? Or are you staying with Hayden?
I'm staying with Connor.
Admin, you staying with Rory?
Staying with Rory.
Coach Al, you going Mr.
I'm
Beast?
going Mr. Beast.
He's going
Yeah.
to see Mr. Beast.
Who is Mr. Beast?
Are you he's the biggest YouTuber in the world. Well done, Admin.
Oh.
Are you playing along at home? We're nearly done. Okay. We've got two more. Paula Radcliffe swings by and says, oh, there's a seat there. I'm going to sit down. So, Hayden, are you staying Connor or are you going to sit with Paula and talk about her amazing podcast and why was it not nominated? Because that is a bloody good podcast. That's how podcasts should be done. Yeah, go on, Hayden.
I am going to stay all night with a crazy nutter that is Conor McGregor.
You two are probably shit-faced by now. Admin,
I'm going to stay with Rory.
I sacked Paula off. That's a bit rude. Coach Al?
Yeah, I'm going Paula. Obviously, I'm just a bit flirty and I'm going anywhere.
Yeah, you don't care. Hal's got no morals. He's just putting it out all over the place. Right, penultimate one, because this is going to test Hayden. The Gypsy King walks in. Tyson Fury walks in. Sits down on our table. Are you moving, Hayden?
I am moving. I'll even sit on his lap. Gypsy King all the way.
Admin?
Yeah, I'd move. He's mad, isn't he?
Mad, yeah, brilliant. Coach out, you staying with Paula? Or you
No, I'm
going Gypsy
staying
King?
put. I'm staying put with Paula.
Okay, and the last one for everybody. The game's nearly ended. You're sitting with that celebrity that you picked, and all of a sudden, the lights dim. The music comes on. Should have been a cowboy, and in walks me.
No, I knew
And I
this
sit
was coming.
down in my suit that's too big for me. Hayden, are you staying with the Gypsy King or you come and sit with your old mate?
So the Gypsy King's the man. I've got to stay with the Gypsy
Making
King.
me out of
See you
that.
any day.
129. Admin? What are you staying with the Gypsy King or you come and see your old mate? Who's in
I'm
his,
going to
is in
sit
that-
with you because someone has to.
Hey, charming. Coach Al, are you joining me in admin?
No, I can see you most Fridays.
So there you go. That's it. Now, be fair. Rate my new game out of 10.
Yeah, I quite like that
I
one.
like
I give it a
that
good,
one.
that's a good eight.
Yes. Hey, come on.
All-
Now
all
we
I would
need some dodgy.
All I would say is you've got to take it into account those that have supper and tea and not dinner. So just make sure it's inclusive next time.
Yeah,
Not just about dinner, is
always
it?
inclusive. I was then thinking we could actually then somehow get like on the screen at the National Running Show, like a roulette thing going round, and it come up. I don't know how we could do it. I have to speak to my head of AV.
I don't think it's a good idea. 'Cause knowing you're going to put someone who's at the National Running Show, like Mo Farah, and it's just going to be offensive. So I think we should stay away from
That's
it.
what I was thinking about.
I can imagine.
Do you want to go and sit there and watch Chris Akabusi?
I thought so.
Please.
Do you want to go sit and watch the running channel? Or do you want to go sit in the toilet with the lights off? Oh, what are you going to do?
I'm so glad I'm not in the
It
country.
could be
that day.
brilliant. It could be brilliant. Anyway, right. Shh. Back to the seriousness. Look, Mental Health Awareness Week is this week, right? And it is genuinely, seriously, hand on heart, an important week. Okay, people bang on that there's weeks for this and there's weeks for that, and it all kind of gets diluted about. And mental health awareness should be all the time. And I think as a community, and the running community, I think we're at the forefront, right, of mental health and wellness. I have to say that in terms of the benefits are promoted so strongly throughout everything within running, in terms of the mental health side of things. And so I think around awareness and around running, it is big already, and I think it's getting bigger. Yeah. There is obviously still stuff that we can do, we can talk about. All right, this week within the club, I know at the satellites, Hayden, it's a message that's gone out in terms of the mental health awareness thing, but also I think the community aspect of it is so important in terms of the support network for individuals and that side of thing. And before I throw it to you guys, one thing that struck me when I was thinking about this today was I was in Wakefield doing park run up there with the guys, and I just got this unfiltered sort of just pure sense of community. That what they've done now at our Wakefield group, right? How they're integrated within park run, but how they brought the whole runners together and within our ethos and stuff like that. But it really just struck me how powerful that is. And if I was like struggling or whatever, I know that within that environment, I'd be able to talk to somebody. I know in that environment, there'd be a friendly face. And that really left me with something when I walked away from that. And it's the same for all the whole community, the whole club and running in general. But it was so there on show. And I would say to you, anybody who is struggling, right? I can't emphasize enough the power of getting involved with something like that. And there's obviously run clubs of different shapes, different sizes, different ways in terms of how you consume it, all right? But I can't tell you how blown away I was by that true sense of community. Forget all the marketing bollocks that's out there about, oh, we're the community this and we're the community that because we want to sell T-shirts or we want to promote our podcast or whatever, right? Forget all that. When it really comes down to it, when you see a couple of people who, really are there for each other and they go running together or they see each other once a week and they go running together, that's pure, right? So I would say to yourselves, get along to whatever you can. Okay, we're not here to push 40 rounds. We're here to push running, okay? And the community side of things. I was blown away by it. Seriously.
It feels to me like you almost just read out basically Gemma Pedder's comment, and she just commented a while ago, 5 minutes ago.
I read it.
Honestly, just like you basically mirrored each other. She basically said, "My running's been awful over the past 18 months, but I've kept up the park run and satellite sessions. It's been more about socialising and talking nonsense, but being out in the fresh air and getting stuff off my chest, as well as talking nonsense with running friends, has kept me going over more stressful times. Without this, I think my mental health would be very different. I'm on iron supplements now, so whilst I'm hoping to push myself a bit more again, it's still about the pure joy of being outside with great people." Exactly what you just said.
That's it. She couldn't have said it better.
Gemma Pedler's one of the first people I met when I started running, the first 40 session I ever went to. So, there's, bless her, that that hits a piece of my heart. So I'm looking forward to seeing Gemma on Sunday now and giving her a hug at Mile 8. Gemma, I'm coming for you.
Talks a lot of sense, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Talks a lot of sense. It's there's Adam Wilcox, 40 quick one. Your videos have changed my life. Okay, I'm not sure how, but have you seen some of them? They're a bit crap. But to be fair, he was in a bad space, ran and listened to your stuff, and it's really helped me. Look, Adam, I don't make the stuff to help people. I make the stuff is in that creative output for myself. Yeah. If that's helped you, I am blown away by it. Thank you for mentioning that. It's really nice. It's genuinely, it's crazy. And you think about the people that, like, we were talking about it last night at the awards, again, when we had about the community side of things. And the stories that we've had within our community where people's mental health has deteriorated and how running's and the community side of things has helped people through stuff. It's so powerful. It really, and I get a little bit annoyed, which may surprise some of you, because I was talking about this to some people last night. This is why I mentioned the awards and try and loop in it in tonight, because I see Harry Kane's First Christmas on Amazon win an award, which is or whatever it was, or Jude Bellingham winning an award. It's total bollocks, because I'd much rather watch like a story about, and obviously it's interesting to me, so it's all relatable, but somebody, that connection, that real authentic, real connection, that something's changed their lives through the power of sport, through the power of doing something like running, something like whatever it is, golf, whatever it is. But that sort of real storytelling in terms of the actual people that it's really positively impacted is, I think, it's really interesting. I think those stories need to be told. I know, is it Chris Packham? Chris Packham?
Yeah,
the naturalist, yeah.
That dude. He's just done a thing, a BBC thing on people with ADHD. A lot of people have said that to me because obviously I've got ADHD. But he did one a few years ago about autism as well. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff, in terms of. But I'd like to see something like with a sort of sport side to that and how sports helped. Like, and people, I think that would be kind of awesome because honestly, sport is that guy. There was a guy there last night, this author bloke. I don't know who he was, Aidan. I've got no idea who this geezer was. But he talked a lot of sense and he was saying how powerful sport can be in terms of bringing people together, but also that whole community well-being side of things. And it's so true. And how, it doesn't matter what crap's going on in the world, sport, whatever it is, obviously we're here to talk about running, it can be such a fulfilling, amazing thing in terms of your well-being.
Well, I think there's almost two parts to it because I think one is it gives you somewhere to go that may not be in the space that you're usually in. So it takes you outside of your home, which puts you in a different mindset. The other thing is there's an element of movement, and whether that is getting in the car and driving there, walking there, going for a run, playing football, whatever it is, yes, we're talking about running, but all of those things, there's such power in that, and the, what that does to your endorphins, your hormones, all of that kind of stuff, and the reaction that has, and therefore the positive benefits that people see because of it.
I feeling like you belong to something as well.
Yeah.
I think you can't underestimate that fire in your tribe, whether it's your veterans five-a-side, your golf swindle that you're in. I don't know, like Hayden with his archery mates. I got no idea. Or your run club, right? Your Wednesday social run group. It's just having somebody to talk to, somebody just to say, "You all right, mate? Yeah. Oh shit, that. Blah, 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 blah." It's life-changing stuff. How you stay connected into something, having that purpose, having that feeling that you are connected to something can keep you going when it's like your back's against the wall.
Yeah, I think, that feeling of there's someone that's going to listen. And actually, sometimes because the people in those groups, like think about the running groups, right? They're not initially, certainly not so connected to your life. They may not know everything that goes on outside. So you can say what you need to say, get whatever, to Gemma's point, off your chest sometimes, those stressful moments. I've had a bad day, this is going on in my life. And actually, they're probably not going to cast any judgment on you because they don't know. And they're just someone that's going to listen and go, I hear you and I'm here. And that's all you need sometimes. It's not someone to give you an answer, give you a solution, fix a problem. It's just somebody being there.
Or even having like, just to go along and like run with people. You might have had an absolute pony week, month, whatever. But just to go along in an environment that you're familiar with, and I've done it. Like if I've been struggling, and I won't talk to anyone, but I'm running and I feel like I'm in the herd. Does that make any sense? I want you to think of horses in the open plains, right? And they're in together and they're just walking along the open plains together. You're part of that in that. And there's something about that connection between human beings together. Yeah. In that sort of tribe, in that sort of, family setting that you're basically creating. And you'll feel part of that. You don't have to say anything, but even just that movement being together, it could be transformative for your mental health.
I had it recently, like I've moved in the last year and I don't know, many people here, and I eventually got along to the Surrey satellite. And I turned up and you can ask Hayden, he was like, "You're right." I was like, "God, I actually feel quite nervous." And I mean, he said, "Yeah, I know, isn't it silly?" But I'm a coach. I've run groups that,
big groups happen.
Yeah, like turned up, lead them with no problem at all. And I'm pretty confident in those ways.
Yeah.
But suddenly, and what was really interesting, I was thinking about this because I knew, obviously, we would talk about mental health today. I was like, it was someone going, whilst I knew a few people, as they turned up, and I didn't know, there was lots of people I've never met before. Just someone going, "Oh, it was really nice to meet you," or "Hope to see you again." And there was just that sense of like, oh, I can go back and someone,
it does
really
help.
Warming feeling. It's
you've got the other side of it. I know Al won't mind me sharing it because Al's very open about everything that he's been through himself. I'll never forget, it was a couple of years ago, he was at Harp 24 and Al was a bit quiet, and I went up to him and said, "You all right, Al?" And he said, "At the moment, I'm with so many friends. There was loads of us there. It was the year when there was loads of us there. So many friends, it was such fun." He said, "But I feel so alone." And he said, "I'll never forget that." And I walked away thinking, how can you feel so alone? There's so many people here in that. But obviously, Al if you could explain yourself, just I know that's one thing you've definitely felt and struggled with, haven't you, mate?
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that conversation because, it was probably the start of a bit of a decline in terms of my running form. And I'm going to take it back to something. Well, it's something Chris said and something Sabrina said. You know, in terms of running, any form of movement, any form of exercise will help you release the happy hormones and give you the chemical effect that you get from being active. You talked about the power of sport, Chris. Absolutely. And I think having played sport all my life, I've learned so many life lessons through being part of a team, or facing winning and losing and dealing with all those issues. But there's a difference about running, and I think it's two things. You touched on it. We are social animals. That's how we're built. That's how we're wired.
Yeah.
And more importantly, running can happen in either a very structured way or a very unstructured way, and every kind of variation in between, which means it is so accessible. If you want the structured stuff, it's there. It's the events. It's the the big races. If you want the unstructured stuff, phone a friend, tell them I need a chat. Let's go out for a run, and then it's everything in between. And that's where our satellite clubs really hit the spot. In terms of, I think if you looked at however many hundred people we get out every week.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
It's thousands we get out of.
Yeah, I was going to say, we went over 1,000. It's incredible, but he's absolutely spot on. It's exactly that. And just looking at the comments, Carly, Adele, all of them, it just hits home, and you realise what it is running can do to help you. And it's such an important. And when we talk about sport helping you, sport is brilliant all round. And maybe I'm biased, but I just feel as though running is that one medium that's got that extra emphasis about the mental health, purely because I think it's something that is accessible to so many people, something you can do at any level of ability, and barriers, especially what we do, barriers are reduced. When you've got a barrier there and you've got any sort of mental health issue, that's the worst thing you want, because a barrier is a mental health issue.
It's like a warning sign, isn't it? It's like, oh, I can't go to that. No, it's too expensive. I ain't got the top. I ain't got the shoes. I don't run fast enough. I'm too fat. And put a million obstacles in your own way that are all irrelevant. And it's there for you if you want to do it. Like parkrun's just such a brilliant example of it.
Amazing.
Martin made a really good point actually in his comment, but volunteering as well. So there's a way to get involved in so many.
Well, again, I mean, brilliant. We was talking about this last night with these people. We were saying, how proud we are. As first, it's the largest club in the country, not because of we've got big, big swing it about because we're this big and all this. No, it's that we get so many people together out running every week. That's our proudest thing, because we know we're making a difference. We give a shit about the other stuff. But also, we was shouting about our volunteers, because again, you don't have to be running.
Yeah.
You can come and be part of something, not just because of running. Park walkings now, they're pushing that, which is great. Look, as I said, look at my mum. Did a mile, so whatever way, and we was talking about this today on the sorry, I wrote about this today on the Global Running Day, that we want people to not just come out and run on Wednesday the 4th. We want you to try and get people out in general. Somebody who may have lost confidence, feel like, I can't do this, I can't do that, whatever. Even if they come along, they don't want to do anything, but they just want to, I don't know, hand out biscuits. I got no idea, but you've got to try and bring somebody out with you on Global Running Day. And whether you're just going to take them for a walk, you're going to pick them up and you're going to go out and you're going to do some form of exercise, or you're going to bring them along to your local satellite. And if they don't want to walk, get them, like I said to you, get them involved, give them a jukebox and make them in charge of music selection. I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah. We want to get people out. You don't have to be running on Global Running Day, which might sound a bit nuts, but we want to celebrate well-being, wellness, and the benefits that the running community that we've created, and outside of that, the other running community, can have if you're involved in it. It's a beautiful thing. Look at Karen's husband, Trev.
I
mean, he's my hero. He walks and he does the events. And he's just a beacon, and then he'll come along and he'll support. He's got support written on his T-shirt, and he comes along, he supports and takes the pictures and everything. What a man! Do you know what I mean? It's it's incredible what he's doing,
Yeah.
you know. And it's like the guy I've spoken about it before, who's done like over 1,500 volunteers spots. I can't remember whether we've got motor neuron disease. I can't remember. Apologies if I've got that wrong. But he's volunteering at parkrun every weekend. He's got like 1,500 volunteer spots or something like that. And he's not put a barrier in front of him to stop coming along, because he knows the benefits of being involved within running and that wider community.
You just raise a really good point as well, like Trev, that guy you're talking about and stuff. There are lots of places, whether it be parkrun or companies that run these events, that, you know, will help you remove some of those barriers. So, you know, if you do want to walk, some of these places like the run-throughs, the active training worlds, etc., will go, yeah, come along. We'll send you out first because, you know, we'll get your chip on and you can get
brilliant.
You can start half an hour earlier, an hour, whatever it is. You know, they'll have those conversations with you to give you that sense of you were able to take part and have that belonging too. Which, so I do, you know, whilst there are some particularly the larger ones which may not be able to do that for a lot of valid reasons, right? You know, the logistics, the safety of people, most importantly, but there are places where you can go and find that as well. So don't let that be.
And I say park walk is a great example of it, to give them a shout. But yeah, it's important. It's important that you, if you're struggling, firstly talk about it, get help. As I said, I'll go back to my story in terms of, you know, I went to my local NHS place, you know, even though I hate the doctors with a passion. But I got in touch with the wellness person there and put me onto a path that I'm now, you know, it's really, really helped me. If anybody's seen my video about, you know, after London Marathon and the work I've done on myself over the last year, for argument's sake, it's been hugely powerful. And all that started because I went and sought help out of my local NHS thing, you know. So get down there, get some help, talk to people. It can honestly, it can change your life.
I think it's quite important as well to, like, I know I mentioned it within the satellite leaders. So being as leaders, mate, let's take yourself, Chris, for example, and people might, yours is a bit different, I suppose you document the challenges that you had, but someone like Sabrina, they might think Sabrina's a satellite club leader, non-such, obviously. And people think because you're a leader, because you're in charge of a group, or Al, because of what he does, and he gets people together at parkrun, they think you're strong, you're fine, you don't need the support as much, you know, you're there for other people. But often you'll find it's them people that are there, it's those people that are the leaders, those people that are at the top. They're the ones, they struggle just as much as ones at the bottom, but they don't show it. And that can make things worse. So if you are one of these people that you feel you're in that responsible position, not just within running, within run clubs, anywhere at work or anything, when you struggle, it's so important to reach out, to talk, to get help. You don't want to be that person who just thinks, no, I've got to be strong for everyone else. I've got to do it. Because that's just going to make life so much worse for you. And if you're damaged, if that might be the wrong word to use, if things aren't good for you, everyone else below you that relies on you, this becomes even worse for that. So it's so important that you as yourself, as a leader, or whatever you're doing, take care of yourself. That's really important.
Absolutely. It's so important. Al, we've got you back. Any closing thoughts from you, big boy? We've got about a minute.
I think that the real challenge is it's finding that safe space to have to, because it's, you know, it's never easy to open up. It's never easy to be vulnerable. And I think genuinely the satellite clubs and running as part of a group, you might not do it the first time you turn up. It might take 6 months, but eventually you will find that safe space to go, right, yeah, I want to have a chat about it. I need to tell someone. I want to get it off my chest. Doesn't really matter who it is. And I know they won't have the answers, but just being able to know that someone's listened is the first important step. So you'll get there eventually. It might take, you know, several goes and a different pathway. But if you're not out there and you're not part of the community and you're isolated, you won't have that conversation. So
and don't forget, sorry, cut across here. We've got the Global Run Crew. Big shout out to Mark and all those involved in our Global Run Crew that connects people up across the world. You know, if there's no satellite group near you, or there's a run club near you that you don't really fancy because they're all like, you know, whatever. But we've got a Global Run Crew that's, the community's thriving on there. It's free, get involved. You know, they go out twice a week. They're nutters, a lot of them. But they love it. So, you know, again, find your tribe, whatever that is, okay? And get involved. Don't sit there and suffer, people. That's the point, yeah? Learn from my mistakes. Don't sit there and suffer. Get help, and you'll be much better off for it. I'm telling you now. And that's someone who's just said, who's been through the process, through the mill and all that kind of thing. All right. So yeah, brilliant. Guys, look, great input on that subject. It's a good one to talk about because, say, running is at the forefront of mental health, I think. And long may it continue in terms of helping people and inspiring people to find ways to get better themselves through sport, through, fitness and things like that. Right. So I'm back live on Monday. Are we back live next Friday? I've got no idea. Probably. Oh,
Yep.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yep.
So we may be back next Friday. I don't know. Don't forget Global Running Day. Come to the pub in Surbiton. Go over to FORDYruns.com, sign up. Don't have to be a club member. Don't have to be a community. We want everybody there. Come along. We're going to host a podcast in a pub. What could possibly go wrong?
And we're sorry, Chris, butting there, but if you're in the area, come down, join us. We've got the Pub Run Company. 2 guys there set that up. Same sort of thing, the whole mental health thing. They're just getting people together within the community and with no barriers. We're in the community, with no barriers. We're going to join up with them and smash that, run that down the river.
Yeah, so get along to them. Say hi. Apparently that guy's got a really good name.
No, we've got to tell people this. You can't let that. Oh, right, we'll keep it a secret for now.
But yeah, come along. That's going to be awesome. If you can't get along to that, then get out there. So we'll be back. If you're at Hackney at the weekend, please don't forget to bring your sign. Run, admin, run. She's going to be there. If you're at Stalk, make sure you go and see Coach Al. Give him a hug.
Pizza. We've got pizza there.
Oh, really? Okay, even better. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. So have a great weekend, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and I shall see you all. I'm in Hackney.
Yep.
Me and Hayden are running 1:21, and we shall see you there.